So is it suffice to say that you did pretty good in 2020, 2021? I mean, with your
Yeah.
business. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Year over year growth, putting systems in place, um, and understanding the business more and more and more, um, uh, understanding who my ideal client is
Yep.
and marketing for them.
Hmm.
Finding out where they hang out, both online and in person. Um, for example, uh, we have a real estate property owners association, um, and I'm hosting the event. It's an expo. It's 2 days, end of February. I think it's 22nd, 23rd of February,
Hmm.
and I'm the lead sponsor, and we'll have 1,000 people come through that expo.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That
Mhm.
is awesome. There are just too many commercial loan brokers that don't have a damn clue of what they're doing. All we're trying to do here is better the industry for everybody. At the end of the day, you can make great money in this industry, but in the end, it's all about helping people. People always say, Kris, how can I be a successful broker? It's two words: hard work and dedication. If you don't like talking to people, you probably shouldn't be in this business. Hey, everybody, welcome back to Entrepreneurs in Finance, where we explore the daily lives of graduates, CCTG staff, and everybody else in between. I want to welcome everybody to the show. First show of 2024. And with that being said, I'm very proud to interview Fred SaintAmour of Boathouse Commercial Funding Group. Um, Fred, welcome to the show. Thank you for doing this. While we're on the topic of your name, what led you to create Boathouse Commercial Funding? What? Tell me the whole theory behind that name.
I had I rebranded after CCTG, and you guys help with the rebranding and whatnot. But um, I actually bought a house on a lake, and it had this old dilapidated caved in boathouse, but it was grandfathered in. So I rebuilt the boathouse, and it's one of my favorite places in the whole wide world. I just threw uh, a Lions playoff game uh, party in there.
Yeah. Okay.
And
All right.
but I was trying to think of a new name and rebrand. And my son said, why don't you call it Boathouse? I'm like, no, hey, that's a really good idea. And so that's how Boathouse Commercial Funding Group came about.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, it's definitely a unique name, and that's a good story. That's a really good story. So,
I get a lot of calls for boat loans though, Kris.
do you really? Well, maybe there's something they're calling. Who knows?
Yeah.
Um. So Fred, again, thanks for being on here. So, my understanding, you came through in August 2019. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, August 2019. Um, and which was before COVID, obviously.
Hmm.
And so what did you do? If you want to tell us, what did you do prior leading up to CCTG before you decided to make the investment?
I was always in the mortgage industry,
Hmm.
residential mortgages, Fannie Freddie type mortgages, um, and in real estate, doing different real estate transactions and whatnot. Um, so that's what I did before. So it was kind of a smooth transition into commercial finance.
Okay. All right. So you kind of had a finance background, right?
Hmm.
What made you just residential wasn't cutting it? Like, were you just wanting a change of product or career?
Yeah, I mean, residential mortgages on the Fannie Freddie side used to be like a lot of fun, and now it's just disclosure after disclosure, and if $50 changes, you have to redisclose and put off the closing, and um, it just seemed like such a grind with the dotting the i's and crossing the t's, and there wasn't all the flexibility went out of it. Like, you can't explain away a late on a car. It's just there's a late on the car. So all the creativity, I guess, was taken out of it.
Yep.
And therefore it stopped being rewarding.
Stop being rewarding. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay. All right. Were you, tell me about your experience with class. Were you nervous getting here? And tell me kind of how that experience was when you went through it.
I think I was nervous um, before getting there,
Yeah.
and I took some finance classes and stuff like that online. Um, and then, but you get there, you sit down, you're with a bunch of people from all different walks of life, and you're greeted at the door. It's CCTG, and you start training. It was very casual, and casual. Casual is maybe the wrong word because it was intense,
Yeah.
but it wasn't. It wasn't a structured classroom with take notes and don't ask questions there was a lot of interaction and discussion
Open
which I
format.
liked.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Good. 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 So when you left, if you remember when you left, were you excited? Were you confused? Did you have a game plan? And if so, what was that game plan?
um it was kind of like drinking from a fire hose, and we'd have one day on equipment financing and I'd be like, oh my God, I'm going to do equipment financing. And oh, wait, no, now we're going to look at commercial real estate financing. I'm like, I'm going to do commercial real estate financing. And then, you know, and the merchant cash advances, oh, I'm going to do that. So I didn't have a plan, and I was kind of scattered, like on which way I was going to go, what I was going to do. And then um, deals started coming in from the marketing company, and I just kind of was maybe better at the mortgage side of things
Right.
because of my background,
Yep.
and kind of just slid into that space.
So that's kind of your niche now, right? Or at least what you kind of concentrate in for the most part.
Yeah, uh, real estate and working capital.
Real estate and working capital. Yeah, that's a
Mhm.
good one. I mean, and when you say working capital, lines of credit, emergent cash advances.
Both,
Yeah.
whatever's best for the client.
Okay. Now, I find your journey interesting. A lot of people that I interviewed like pre-COVID, you came through August of
Yeah,
19
it was great timing.
and who the hell knew what was going to happen right by the end
Yeah.
of the year and starting in 2020. So how did you navigate that?
Um, I still had leads coming in. I
Yeah.
didn't have to meet, face to face with people. There wasn't any networking going on uh in Michigan. But leads still came in. People were still doing deals. And I limped along and learned more and more and more and just expanded out.
Did you grasp onto the whole PPP phenomenon that year when like offering PPP loans to borrowers?
Um, a couple, a few,
Mhm.
um, but no, I didn't really focus on that.
Okay, all right. So is it suffice to say that you did pretty good in 2020, 2021? I mean, with your
Yeah.
business. Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
yeah, absolutely. Year over year growth, putting systems in place, um, and understanding the business more and more and more, um, uh, understanding who my ideal client is
Yep.
and marketing for them.
Mhm.
Finding out where they hang out, both online and in person. Um, for example, uh, we have a real estate property owners association, um, and I'm hosting the event. It's an expo. It's 2 days, end of February. I think it's 22nd, 23rd of February,
Mhm.
and I'm the lead sponsor, and we'll have 1,000 people come through that expo.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
That's awesome. That
Mhm.
is awesome. And you're based in Michigan, is that correct?
Yep. Western Michigan. Yep.
Western Michigan. Okay. Now, tell me, if you don't mind, a little bit about your business. Have you brought on anybody to help you, employees, independent contractors? Like, has your infrastructure kind of grown in the last couple of years, or what?
Yeah. I have uh, uh, loan officers that I 1099. In fact, I don't have a single employee.
Okay.
I have two processors. They're paid, per deal, 1099. I have one that does the conventional financing, the Fannie Freddie type stuff, because I'm a licensed lender in Michigan for that.
Hmm.
And then I have a completely different processor that does my commercial loans. And it's really kind of like I equate it to, you go to an auto mechanic and you ask him about, rebuilding your transmission. He's like, I don't know anything about those. And if you go to your transmission guy and say, hey, can you do a tune up on my engine? He's like, I don't know anything about engines.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And that's kind of, so I kind of have two silos in that regard, where one does the conventional stuff, one does the commercial stuff. They don't even talk to each other.
Yeah.
And it works out really well.
Good, good, good. What, about, I guess, about the business, what's the one thing that you really love about the business? Looking back the last, what, 4 years now?
Yeah. I like I think a couple things. I love the challenging deals that no one else can get done.
Hmm.
Because I do use, private funds when people are in a jam, and they can't get out of it. Um, uh, Helping those people out. And then pre-COVID, I met a guy over the phone. In fact, we still haven't met in person. Um, Met him over the phone, and he had 8 loans on investment properties through the Polish credit union. Who knew there was a Polish credit union? But there is. And he had 8 properties. I refinanced and took cash out with a portfolio loan, one loan on 8 properties. And he started doing fix and holds. And I just closed on his 42nd property.
Wow.
So that's kind of a great success story. I like to see him grow his business. So, uh, getting tough deals done and helping people grow their business while I make money at the same time, it's great.
That's good. It's a win-win. Yeah, that sounds like an awesome structure. At the same time, I always ask everybody, what do what do you specifically dislike about the business?
Well, uh, despite every once and again, I get into a co-broker experience where, and then I don't do another one for 6 months, and then I'm like, oh, hey, I forgot. So it's those experiences, or just tell us everything up front. Don't try and hide the stuff. We're gonna find out, but if we find out now, we can work around it. But if we find out, a week before closing, after appraisal's been done and paperwork's done, and then the deal blows up, it's just, um, I see myself as, I'm an advocate for the borrowers to tell me everything, right? And we'll work it out. We'll make it
Yeah.
right. So,
Yeah. Yeah. But you probably have short-term memory, right? When it comes to that,
right.
because
Oh, this is a good one,
they
right?
can be great referrals, but they could also make you age,
Yeah,
very, very
yeah.
quickly, dealing with, I guess, incompetent brokers.
Right.
Yeah.
Untrained. Let's call them untrained.
Yeah, untrained. Yeah, let's be nice. Let's be fair. Untrained brokers. Well, that's good. So, eh, you know, your journey, right? So the way I'm learning about you, your journey, you took a leap into the cooler side of the pillow, the commercial world instead of residential.
Right.
Um, and then, you took this class, but then you got hit with, COVID, right? Which kind of
Yeah.
threw things up in the air. But sounds like you persevered, and, growth year after year. What would you attribute, I think, if you could name one thing that you could attribute to your success, right? After kind of going through those trials and tribulations, and it could be just mindset? I don't know, but what what would you attribute one thing to your personal success? The fact that you're still doing it 4 years later, and year over year growth.
Uh, I'm like, what was that movie with Greer, Officer and a Gentleman?
Mm-hmm.
I've got no place else to go. Um, so
You don't have a plan B.
I don't have a plan B, so plan A's got to work, and I grind it out. And in this world, with all the social media and all this other stuff, and I still get the majority of my leads from face-to-face networking events.
Yeah, I was
So
going to ask you
maybe
about that.
maybe I'm a little bit old school in that regard. I think I work better for people that I met and know. Uh, but just grind it. Just
Oh,
there
yeah,
isn't a plan B. Just grind it out, and I did. And right now I have a great life, nice income, very little. I mean, I don't have employee stress, right? So nice little business.
that's great. I mean, I always say that if you have a plan B, you're never fully in with plan A. You know?
Right, right.
So I share that attitude with you. And I was going to ask you, how do you, because everybody wants to know, we have people that watch this, existing graduates too, that find it inspirational, but the primary way you get business is just through good old fashioned networking. Is that what I'm hearing?
I do pay per click too.
Okay. All right.
Yeah, I do. I do pay per click. And in-person networking. And I've also had, I still do my email marketing, stay in front of people. And then I've had luck with mailing postcards.
Okay. Yeah.
And that goes back to the old school thing.
We teach it in
Uh,
class.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
And I've had great luck with that. And I'm surprised how many people say, I got your postcard 6 months ago and I kept it. I'm like, oh, you did? Thank you.
Good.
Uh, so, those four approaches:
Yeah.
in-person networking, pay-per-click, the mailers, and email marketing.
Okay. All right. All right. You personal wise, if I was asked this question, if you couldn't be doing what you're doing now, your plan A, what would you do if you could just wake up and be something? Or
Like I hit the lotto.
well, either that or you can just with a snap of a finger be doing something different, without going through years and training or educate. You know what I mean? Like if you could be doing something else, what would it be?
Uh, it depends if I'm independently wealthy or not, Chris. If I was rich, I'd write books. I've
Okay.
got a couple of
Fair enough.
marketing books, and I also really enjoy um, uh, business coaching. I've done that in the past,
Yep.
right before the 2008 meltdown. So I'm really good at starting businesses before economic meltdowns and COVID. Um, so yeah, I can't really picture myself doing anything else but being in the finance world, and I love the commercial finance so much. It would have to it'd be tough tearing me away from it.
Yeah, and so, well, with that being said, have you ever thought about integrating like a business coaching aspect to the people that you help?
Well, I kind of do that, like people who are, because I'll deal with first time flippers. I'll
Okay.
I'll help them, um, and I take kind of a consultative approach, anyways, with the financing. So I kind of that's a nice outlet for me in that regard.
Yeah, that's good. Okay. Another question I'll head at you just to dive a little deeper into your personality or background. But what's one thing that somebody wouldn't normally know about you by just outside of finance, personal wise?
Um, Geez, uh, that I'm too old and too broken to still be slalom skiing on the water and playing hockey 2 or 3 nights a week. But
Okay.
yeah, I'm still out there doing it, and a lot of elastic bands holding my body together, but I still have a blast doing it.
You still have a blast. Yeah, you're in the right
Yeah.
place to do it, I guess, right? You're in
Right.
the right place to do it. Um, someone and I, I have some notes here, but is it you had some type of affiliation with the Black Hawk Down incident?
Oh, yeah, that whole mess in Somalia.
Right.
Um, I was I was a part of that. Um,
So you were
and
military?
now,
You were former military?
oh yeah, yeah. I
Okay.
was part of Task Force 160th, the Army's Special Operations Aviation Unit, the one where the Blackhawks were shot down.
Wow.
Um, so yeah, so I don't get frazzled much with the commercial loans, and I don't let the stress and stuff get to me because you know
Yeah.
no one's dying if the
Well,
loan doesn't close, right?
right. It's all
Right.
perspective, right?
It
Yeah.
is right.
I
So
love
kind of
that.
chill,
Yeah, I
right?
love that. Yeah, because you meet some people and it's like the end of the world, and yeah,
Right.
it's all about perspective. That's good to hear. One other question that I'll ask you that I always like, I'm just curious about, but if you could, sit down with somebody and have dinner, whether they're, deceased or here still, it could be anybody in the time of history, who would it be?
God, well, I'd really like, um, and I'm not, religious all that much or anything like that, but I'd like to sit down with Jesus, and I think we could clear a lot of stuff up.
Yeah.
I think that would be a really interesting conversation. Well,
I've said that too before, I mean,
right.
that's that's kind of like, yeah, I've said that a lot. I share that. I mean, that would probably be the one person
Right.
I would try to sit down with, right? I mean,
Yeah,
you could walk away from that conversation uh
yeah,
richer than anybody in the world. I mean, just in terms of the knowledge you gain, I guess, right?
yeah. Are there aliens?
Right.
And are they visiting Earth? Right.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. If there's someone's gonna know, it'd be that guy. So
There probably is, though. Do you think there's
yeah.
aliens?
Oh yeah, yeah,
By the sheer
yeah.
numbers, right? I mean, I don't.
Right.
Hey, I'm just saying, there's got to be something
There's
more
gotta
than us out there, just given the probability, right?
be. It'd be a lonely marble if that we live on if there weren't. So
I think they said what there's a trillion galaxies, at
yeah.
least they're thinking, right? So come on,
Right.
I mean,
Come on.
there's got to be something out there,
Something.
something,
Something.
something. If there
Right.
isn't, that's even scarier.
Right.
Um, so all right, now we call it flip the script. We're gonna turn it around and ask me. Feel free to ask me anything. Is there anything you wanna ask me personal wise? Doesn't have to be about CCTG.
What inspired you to start CCTG?
Um, well, I guess the experience of dealing with brokers. To be honest with you, when before CCTG, obviously I had my finance company, which I still do today, and just dealing with realizing how many brokers just don't know what they're doing, right? And
Right.
there were really one or two other organizations that were out there kind of doing what we're doing, not at the level that we are, but and it's interesting when I spoke to people that came out of those experiences, they weren't impressed. I mean, they still were doing things the wrong way.
Hmm.
And so in my mind, that said, gee, maybe there can be something here that can improve upon what's already out there and do it much better. And then I kind of had a vision for what that would be. And the rest is history
Yeah. It's a
with you.
good history.
Yeah, no, it's been great, been blessed, and it's been a really, really good ride. Um, anything else?
That was the big one.
That was a big one. Okay. You excited about the Lions?
Oh my gosh, it is unbelievable. It is so much. It's so much fun. Like I didn't know. Like this is what football fans do in January. Because I mean,
Yeah.
I've never had a game.
Well,
I had
listen,
one.
I'm a Dolphins fan, so I'm
Oh
still.
gosh.
Yeah, I know. It's I keep hanging on Dan Marino. I mean, bring Dan Marino back. You know what I
Right. He's still got some wheels, or he never had.
mean? Yeah.
Uh, but yes, I'm super excited about that. And I'm actually traveling I'm traveling to Colorado this weekend So I got to find a group of Michiganders out there to watch it with. So
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and what I saw something the other day online. It was funny. They were like, just somebody like award Barry Sanders like a contract just to play one play in the Super
yeah,
Bowl because the guy
yeah,
deserves it. You know what
right, right. Give him a ring,
I mean? Give him a ring.
right?
Yeah. I mean, that's what you think when you think of a player from the Detroit Lions. Who do you think of? Think of
Yeah,
Barry Sanders.
Barry.
I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah. It's where great players used to go to die,
yeah,
and now you know I've drank the Kool-Aid, and yeah, I'm just loving it, having so
yeah.
much fun.
Good, 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 good. Well, all right. Well, listen, I think that does it. Listen, I appreciate you spending some time with us here, kind of telling us about your journey and what you've done.
Yeah,
Best of luck to you, and again, thank you, for coming on here and just kind of telling your side of the story.
and thank you for inviting me, and thank you for helping me build a business that I love.
Oh, I appreciate it. No, no, thank you. All right. Well, that wraps it up for this episode of Entrepreneurs in Finance. Don't forget to follow our YouTube channel, where we have many episodes coming out. We have a lot stacked up for you for the year here. So this is just one of many to come. So thanks, everybody. Have a great day.
Thanks.
There are just too many commercial loan brokers that don't have a damn clue of what they're doing. All we're trying to do here is better the industry for everybody. At the end of the day, you can make great money in this industry, but in the end, it's all about helping people. People always say, Kris, how can I be a successful broker? It's two words, hard work and dedication. If you don't like talking to people, you probably shouldn't be in this business.